Hello friends, welcome to third part of our Ultimate Angular Material course. I am Achyut. I am going to be your trainer for this course. I had helped thousands of students to master various client-side programming technologies like JavaScript, jQuery, Angular and React. In this course, you will learn about icon, badges, tooltips and the progress spinners. This is continuation with part 2. So I suggest you to go through part 1 and part 2 before this. Let us start. Today's session agenda is material icons, Angular material badges, Angular material tooltip, and Angular material progress spinner. Now let's try to understand icons. So icons will help you to make a design or UI of your application attractive. Now to use the icons, Angular material provides you hundreds of built-in SVG and the font icons of them. Now to use the icon, we use a directive mat-icon, and in this directive we'll specify the name of icon, and once you specify the name of icon, so that icon will be appear inside your UI. So mat-icon is a directive which makes it easier to use icons in your app. This directive supports both icon fonts and SVG icons, but it do not support bitmap-based formats like PNG, JPG, etc. Now to get the icon inside your Angular application, at the first step you need to import mat icon module from Angular / material / icon. And once you import this module, so to inject or insert the icon anywhere inside Angular UI, so you just need to say mat-icon. So if you want, you can use the colors. So three colors we have in indigo pink theme: primary, accent, and we can use one. Then in this directive we'll specify the name of icon, so camera underscore enhance, then / mat-icon here. Now let's try to do it practically. So now to do it practically, we'll go to a command prompt and we'll open our existing project here. So I'll go to a mat app and we'll open it in a VS Code using code space start. Then we'll use ngshell and to build it, host it and run this app. I'd open in Visual Studio. So at the first step, so what we do, so we'll import this module, mat icon modules with the Angular material icon. Then we'll use the mat-icon and then we'll use a camera underscore enhance. That is the name of icon, and that icon will be injected inside your Angular UI. So here we have this design-module dot ts file. So I'll go to this module. So I'll import the icon module, and to import the icon module, so here I'll write a statement, so import, and we'll say mat icon module from, we'll set that Angular / material / icon. Then I'll list this particular module inside the import array, and I will list it in export array. So I'll say something called mat icon module, and here I will say mat icon module in export array. So we'll import it and we'll export it. Now then we'll go to the app component.html. So this was last session code. So for timing, I'll just delete this, and here I'll say mat-icon, and here I will say something called camera underscore enhance. Now this is the name of icon. Now I'll put this here. Let me check whether it is building. So it's taking time to build your application. So camera underscore enhance. the name of icon, and mat dash icon is the directive. So you just put this directive, then the name of icon, then that icon will appear inside your UI. So wherever you want here. Now I try to open the browser. So you'll find a camera icon here. Now I'll zoom this little bit so that it will be visible here. Okay, so you'll find the camera icon. Now you may say how I will know the icon name. So do not worry. To get the list of all the icons, go to this URL https:/material.io/resources/icons. Now let's go to that URL. So I'll open the Chrome. I'll say https:// and here I'll say something called material.io/resources/icons. So here you will get a list of all the icons there, and what you need to do, you just need to copy the name of icon that you want to display. So for example, if I want to display some icon here, so card travel, so I'll click on this icon, and here I'll say select icon. So you'll get the name of the icon here, so card underscore travel, or you can read it and you can directly type inside the Angular. So I am now in Angular material project, so I'll say icon, and here also something called card travel. Now we'll say br here, we'll say save this. So if you go to the browser, you will find the card travel icon. Then in similar fashion, suppose if I want some other icon, so delete icon. So I'll say something called br here. I'll say mat dash icon. I'll say delete. I'll say br here. We'll say save. So delete icon will be available. Now if you want, you can change the color of the icon. Now I'll say color. Suppose I'll specify the color here accent. Here I'll specify the color primary, and here I'll specify the color, suppose warm. Now these are the defined colors that we have in Angular material. So you'll find so on, primary, accent. Okay, so accent, primary, and the on here. Right. Now this way you can use the icon in Angular material project. Now let's try to understand about badges. So what is basically badge? So badge is a small status descriptor for UI elements. A badge consists of a small circle, typically containing a number or other short set of characters that appears in proximity to another object of them. So badge will help you to show some highlighted content, or we can say some summary content, or to which you want to attract the attention of the user. So badges are always shown in a circle, which contain, in general, it contains the number. So 99% times we show number using badges or some short set of characters. Now to use the badges in Angular application, so at the first step, we need to import a mat badge module, and this mat badge module is available in @angular/material/badge, and then we can apply a directive mat badge to any tag that you want to be a badge. So in general, we use the span tag to create a badge there. So use the span space mat badge equal to a value. So 5 is the value that will be displayed. So 5 is the value that will be displayed in a badge, and this is just a tag. This is the count is, and we have the span here. Now with badges, with value, you can also specify the size. Now you can how we can say size like large, medium, and small. And to specify the badge size, so Angular provides you a directive mat dash badge size large, badge size medium, and badge size small. Now, similar to sizes, we can also apply the color. So it's a matte badge color equal to primary. Now, matte badge color equal to accent and matte badge color equal to 1. So you can specify these three colors with badges of that. And then beside the color and the size, you can also specify the badge position. And to specify the badge position, so we use matte badge position directive, and it will have the value above after, so it will have the value above before, so it will have the value below before and below after. And these four values can be used to specify the position of the batch of that. So by default position is above after. Now beside this we can specify one more we can say attribute, that is called overlap. So by default badge will overlap the text little bit. So if you want to remove that overlapping, so Angular badge provides you a directive called mat badge overlap, and you can set it to false. So by default it will be true. So when you set it to false, so it will remove the overlapping with that. Now you can also bind it to the class property of that. So what you can do, so you can create a property inside the class, and then you can use the property binding to bind its value to something called to bind its value to something called a mat badge directive. So once you bind it to the match badge directive, so that particular value will be displayed with that. So you can also write some conditional code like if value is 0, then hide the badge, or if value is non-zero, then show the badge. So such kind of arrangement you can do using a hidden directive. And you can bind the class property to the match badge using a property binding syntax and use the square bracket mat badge equal to variable name of that. Now let's try to have a practical demo of badges of that. Badges demo. Now to have the demo of how to use badges in Angular material, let's first open the project. And to open the project, I'll go to the command prompt. The command prompt, I'll switch to D drive. We'll open our app in VS Code editor. I'll change this dash O to build host and open the Angular application. Now we'll in a VS Code editor. So this is the project that we had created in the previous sessions. Okay, so in previous session we had used the mat icon. Now for the batches, at the first step we need to use a batch module. So I'll go to import. This is mat batch module from this Angular slash material slash batch. We'll add in the imports array. And we'll add it in export array. Okay. Now let's go to app component.html. For time being, I'll just delete this icons. Now I'll create a batch. Now create a batch. Suppose if I get div and if I get the span. Now to create a batch, we'll use mat batch directive and we'll assign some value to this. Now I'll save this. Okay, so here we get the batch 5. Now, so you will say the count is, and we'll have this. So batch will help you to show some text or number into a circle. Now this is the default batch with a medium size and with a primary color, and position is after and top. Now let's modify few more attributes. Now let's make it large, small. We'll say mat badge size is again a directive which will help you to change the size of a batch. So we can use the value large, and suppose if I copy this div and if I paste it here, And if I say value 10, and if I say match batch size, something called medium, and we'll copy this to again, and if I say 5, and if I say match batch size small, I'll just save this. We'll find the three batches. Last one is the smallest, second one is middle, and the first one is largest of them. Now similar to this, what we can do, so we can also change the color of the batch. Now suppose to get some gap between this content, so if I use a BR tag, and now let's try to use the color. So matte batch color is again one more directive that will help you to change the color. So we have the three colors in Angular primary. Now this is something called matte batch color, accent, and we can say matte batch color 1. Now I'll save this. Here if you look at here, so the count is 15, 10 and 5. Now the color is 1, accent and primary. Now similar to color, we also can specify the position where to display the batch. So we have the 4 positions above after. So above after is default position. So above and after, and then we have the above before, below before and below after. I'll create one more batch. Now default position is above after. So I'll say mat batch position. This is the directive which will help you to control the position of a batch. Now so I'll say above after. Now here we'll say something called mat batch position, and here we'll say something called above before, and here we'll say mat batch position above before, and we'll say match batch position and here we'll use the value below before, and let us see what happens. I'll just save this. Now this is above before, sorry, above after. So above before, below before and below before. So below before, instead of before we'll make it after. Below after, we'll find the below after. This is below after and all this. Now there is one more attribute that we have in a badge, that is called overlap. So mat batch overlap is attribute which will tell you whether to overlap or not. By default it overlaps. Now if I go to this and if I say mat batch overlap equal to, if I say false, that means we are saying do not overlap. So we'll just copy this and paste this to continue with other batches. We'll save this and we'll see what happens here. Sorry. So here is a small spelling mistake. Okay, so now overlapping is removed here. Now the last thing that we want to see here is how to bind the class property to a badge. So if I go to the app component class, so app component.ts, if we create some variable here, so I'll say user count of type number, and if we initialize this value to something called 40, then here so for first batch, instead of using this value directly, I want to use the property binding. So property binding will help you to assign the value of some variable from the class to batch user count. So we are binding the value of a user count to this batch of this. So now I'll find the 40. Now that's all for the batches. Now here we'll try to understand the tooltip and tooltip. So tooltip is basically a small text that you want to display with any we can say control or any tag to attract the user attention or to display some extra information. The Angular Material Tooltip provides a text label that is displayed when the user has or her or ho her or long press an element. Now to use the tooltip, so at the first step we'll import the mat tooltip module, and this mat tooltip module is available in Angular Material Tooltip of there. Now once we import this module, so we can use a directive mat tooltip, and this mat tooltip allows to specify a tooltip that you want to display for any control. So it can be a button or it can be a label, it can be any tag. Now beside this mat tooltip, so you can also specify one more directive with a mat tooltip, so that is mat tooltip position, and in the mat tooltip position you can specify the before and after value. So if you specify the before, that tooltip will be shown before that particular element, and if you use after, then it will show the tooltip after that particular element, and after is the default value for mat tooltip position of that. Now let's try to understand the tooltip practically. Okay, let's learn tooltip practically. Now for this, I'll go to our existing project here. So for time being, I'll just delete this batch code from app.component.html. Then I'll go to design module. So at the first step, we need to import a tooltip module here. And how we can import that, we'll say import, and here we'll say mat tooltip module from Angular/material/tooltip. We'll add it in the imports array of your this design module. So mat tooltip module. We'll add it in the exports also. So mat tooltip module. So import and export. Now we are ready to use the tooltip here. So suppose if I get a button and click me, and here, so if we apply a directive mat dash reached button, so it will just get you the button here. Okay, That's not showing any tooltip. Now let's try to use the tooltip. So mat dash tooltip, mat tooltip, not dash. And in the mat tooltip, I'll say this is button. We are just putting some demo tooltip here. So once we move the cursor on this click me button, you'll get the tooltip at the bottom. This is a button. Okay. Now, so in a tooltip, we have one more attribute, that is color. So you can also specify the color to the tooltip using a color property. So in color, we can say primary accent. So this is a button color. Also, in tooltip, we have one more attribute called the position. Now also mat tooltip position equal to also before. But when I put the cursor, so it's not showing the tooltip before, it's showing the tooltip after because there's no space before. Now to add some space before, we'll modify the CSS little bit. We'll create a class center. We'll say margin dash left 400 pixel, and we'll apply the class center here. Now it will show the tooltip before the button. Now there is a space and it will use that space to show the tooltip at the before the button. So after tooltip, we'll learn about a progress spinner. Now what is basically a progress spinner? So progress spinner will show you a circular indicator regarding the progress of any activity or a process. Now, in case of Angular material, we have the two types of progress spinner. So we have the mat progress dash spinner directive, and we can use mat dash spinner. So there are the two directives that will help you to create the progress spinners of them. Now to use the progress spinner, so we need to import a module. So mat progress spinner module, and this module is a part of a package Angular slash material slash progress spinner. Now we can use the progress spinner using a directive. So mat dash progress dash spinner, and here you can specify the value, and we can use that value. So we can use that value to indicate the actual progress of a progress spinner. When I specify the value 50, so your progress will be 50%. So if I use the value 100, that means your progress is 100%. If I specify the value 20, so that means the progress is 20% of that. Now this progress spinner, so mat dash progress dash spinner directive will show you a static spinner. So static spinner means, so it will show you the spinner with a specific value, and that value indicates the completion of the activity or the progress of that. Now if you want to show the continuous spinner, so we need to use one more directive called mat dash spinner, and this mat dash spinner will show you the continuous spinner of that. So mat dash spinner will show the continuous spinner until you do not hide it or do not stop it, and progress spinner will show you the spinner with a progress value there. Now, let us understand few more things here. Now, you can also control this progress spinner from Angular class, and to control it, what we need to do is we need to create some variable in Angular class, and then we can use ngif directive, and depending on the value of that particular variable, so we can control the continuous spinner there. So here we had created a continuous spinner using mat dash spinner directive, and what we are doing, so we are showing the spinner if the show spinner variable value is true. So show spinner variable value is true. So star ng if is the directive, this directive will show the spinner if the show spinner variable value is true. And what we are doing, so we had added one button and we are handling the click event of a button here. So click event of a button, and on the click event of a button we are calling load data, and load data is a function that we define inside the component class of that. So in component class we'll create a show spinner variable and it will be a boolean, it will be true or false of that. Now it will be true or false of that, so by default it's set to false, and in the load data we are making it true. So when you click on the button it will call the load data, show spinner will be true. Now the spinner will be visible to the user. Now we are setting a timer here using a set timeout method, and we are setting the show spinner false after 5000 milliseconds of that. So 5000 milliseconds. So after 5000 milliseconds, so show spinner will become false, then the spinner will be automatically going to stop with that. Now let's uh, implement it practically using VS Code. Now let us learn how to use a progress spinner in Angular material project. So for this I'll go to our project here and I'll just delete this tooltip code and I'll add a module. So I'll add a module for import progress spinner module. So mat progress spinner module from rectangular slash material slash progress spinner. Okay. So at the rectangular slash material slash progress spinner. Now sometimes it may happen when you add a new module that module doesn't get reflected to this. Then what you need to do, we need to stop the project here, stop the we can say, and then we rerun this project using ngserve dash home. We'll also close the browser. We need to rebuild the project. So we'll go to the VS Code editor. Now I'll add it into imports. And in export array here, okay, now it's working. Now let's try to use this progress spinner. Now there are two types of spinner. One is spinner with a value, and to create a spinner with a value, progress spinner, and here we just save this. By default it will not do anything here. If I say value, in a value property, if I specify some value, that is indicate the current value of the spinner. So if I say something called 10, so we'll save this. So it will show the progress of 10%. Now if I say 90, so it will show the progress of 90%. Now you can also change the color of this progress. So also suppose accent, so you'll get the accent color here. Now if I put the value 50, so it will show the 50% progress. Now if you want a continuous spinner, so then we use a directive mat dash spinner, and here we can see search color, 1. So second is a continuous spinner. So it will stop only when it receives false value. Now suppose we want to control this continuous spinner from a button. So for that what we'll do, so we'll go to the component class app.component.ts file, and here we'll create one variable show spinner, and initially so we'll make it of type boolean, and initially we'll store the false here. Now I'll create a method, suppose load data or any method whatever you want. Now in this method I'm saying this show spinner to true. So set the true value to the show spinner so that when load data method got called, so it will show the spinner, and I want to show the spinner for some time period. So for that I will use a set timeout method of a JavaScript, and I am going to use the lambda syntax for this method, and in this lambda syntax we'll specify the value, sorry, code and the delay time. So code is here, so this starts show spinner equal to false, so it will make this spinner false after 5000 milliseconds there. So when you call the load data method, it will show the spinner, and it will show the spinner up to 5000 milliseconds. As soon as 5000 milliseconds happens, it set the show spinner value to false, and it will stop the spinner. Now I'll call this method on the click of some button and something here. So I'll go to the app component.html file, we'll create a button here, value load data, we'll bind it to the click event. So I'll say click, I'll call a method load data. Let me check the name of method again. So D capital, so I'll use the D capital here. Now I'll save this. Okay, so button cannot be self-closed. It's a button tag, so it should be a separate closing. And it will not have this value property. So I'll say click here. And we need to bind that particular property to this show spinner using a structural directive star and if and equal to show spinner. What this ngif will do, it will show the spinner. What ngif will do, so it will show the spinner if show spinner value is true. Now that spinner is not visible, but when we click on this, so it will show the spinner for 5000 milliseconds. So as soon as 5000 milliseconds happens, it will show spinner property will become false, and as soon as it become false, so spinner will be stopped here. Okay, now that's all for spinner. If you enjoy this video, please like us and share. Also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and do not forget to press the bell notification button to receive the notifications for our new videos. If you have a question, you can ask in the comment box or visit my blog blog.aritechpune.com. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.